Man, because I heard this from a lot of young guys and stuff. How did you face your fear when you elevated yourself from the bistro, hanging out around St. Louis, and then you elevated the a world renowned the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah.
I know you had to have some kind of fear. So how did you face your fear? And what can you tell young guys to kind of wrap themselves around? Well, we know God, because we know you're a devout Christian.
Right.
But I don't want to say besides that, because it don't sound right.
I got you. Well, I got to say it. I remember I had a friend. I got a friend named Jeremy Gaddy. Amazing drummer. He played on Kim Burrell's first record, along with Chris Dave. And so Jeremy said this one day. We were hanging out in New York, and he said, "Man, don't pray for the opportunity to come. The opportunity is going to come, but pray to be prepared once it happens." So I took that into my everyday life, even now. When it comes to fear, the main thing is that, like for instance, when you receive a call for a gig, the main thing is that it's about the preparation process. My wife would tell you I'm pretty neurotic when it comes to this. My preparation process and learning somebody's music is pretty intense. It's pretty intense. My main thing is that I try to make sure that I sit at home and really learn the music, and I try to feel the nuance of the music in terms of if there's a drummer that played the music before me. I don't try to come into a situation saying, "Man, I'm gonna come in and bring the Marcus flavor." No, it's not that at all. I always want to make a band feel like they've been playing with me for over 20 years. So if I have to fill a chair of another musician, another drummer, I try to emulate those things that made the band comfortable with that drummer. So I try to figure out, get inside that drummer's head. So when I sit down, not that I'm trying to play like him, but at the same time, I'm not trying to play like that drummer, but I'm trying to carry the nuance, the vibe, that they can get to what they're used to, the way they're solo or the way they play. And then over time, it evolves, and I'm able to bring the things that I do, and I'm learning the music at the same time. So as it pertains to fear, yes, don't get me wrong. Even the other night, I was nervous before I got on stage. And I remember somebody asked me, "Are you nervous?" I said, "No." And then I said, "Yeah." Because the thing about it is, I heard somebody else say this, when the nervousness leaves, then it's almost like the excitement of it is gone. So I'm still nervous before I play, but at the same time, it's about knowing how to prepare. Practice. My thing is this, when it comes to practice and shedding, I don't practice licks or chops or things like that, but I practice to feel comfortable on the instrument. Because each gig is different. I practice that no matter what drum set I sit down on, that I just feel comfortable. I just want to feel comfortable with playing the instrument. It ain't about if I worked out this groove or that groove, because each drum set, or each set of music may be different. So if you're comfortable with your instrument, then a lot of that will help with the fear. But as far as the tingling feeling, like, oh man, that's just part of the energy. That's just the nature of going to perform. And once you get a song in, or you feeling that adrenaline starting to happen, then as the night goes on, then you become free. You become more. As far as fear, I believe it's natural to have fear. Yeah. But you just got to know where to push that fear.
Right. But now, what about fear in the respects of when you were growing up and you were hanging around with Jeremy and Rob and Montez and Greg? Did you ever say, "Well, no, I'm not gonna play because they here"? Because guys tell me that all the time. Yeah. I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna wait till they leave.
I was different. Right. I'm gonna tell you, I was that kid back then when the Winans would come into town on commission. They may be at a concert at a church or something, and they, back in the day, they used to have devotion before these concerts. Right. I was that kid. They didn't have a drummer. I was that kid to go try to jump on this huge drum set. I started playing drums at the age of 2. And the thing about it is, my family taught me to play drums. It was a gift from God. So it never was taught to be competitive. Not that to be competitive in that kind of way. But so for me, I always wanted people to see, the gift that God has given me in terms of, I could get, some constructive criticism. Yeah. Man, you could work on this, you could work on that. And actually, the person that was the mentor was Montez's. I have to give a shout out to Montez's uncle. Name is Ramont Coleman. And because me and Montez grew up in Faith Miracle Temple together.
Right.
His dad, we came up together as kids, but his uncle really was a serious mentor to me. He actually sowed the seed of ProMark drumsticks in my life before I ever knew it. Like, he gave me my first pair of drumsticks of ProMark, which I was probably about 7, 8, or 9, somewhere around that age. And so, you know, so as far as fear, I mean, it was like, man, I would love for these guys to see me play because they would be able to show me something. Mm-hmm. So if you're afraid, like for instance, my wife, we talk about this. A lot of times you have people that sing, and you know, you always have that, you know, maybe young teenage girl that say, hey, I want to sing. And we would judge competitions and people would get up there and be shy. I understand the shyness. But at the same time, when somebody asks you to sit down, your craft, whatever, hey, you got to suck it up and go do it. Nobody have, you know, people don't have time to be like, you know, to play the shy game, this and that. There's nothing wrong with that humiliation. I mean, being humble. That's the word.
Right.
Being humble, that is a part of it. But at the same time, hey, that's a time where you can learn and grow. Every time you sit down and play, yeah, you can look at it as an opportunity, but an opportunity don't always mean an opportunity for a gig. That could be an opportunity for somebody to give you a lesson. That could be an opportunity for somebody to impart knowledge into your life, or somebody to say, man, I see that you have something. So, man, here's my number. Call me anytime. That was what Greg Hutcherson was for me. That's what Lewis Nash was for me. That's what my teacher's Michael Carvin was for me. I mean, so when these people see you play, man, I mean, don't get me wrong. If, you know, even my partners, if they're in the room, yeah, I'm nervous. Because I'm like, man, these guys are amazing musicians. But at the same time, God has given me a gift and given me a voice. But at the same time, I can learn and grow. Somebody can say, hey, man, check this out. Mark Collenberg, we was hanging out the other day. I'm like, yo, man, go ahead and play and sound check. I'm like, yo, I can always learn something. There's my bass player that will play with me sometimes, Louis Cato, who plays drums with Marcus Miller, but he's sick as a bass player. You know what I do to Cato sometimes? Hey, Louis, you know what would you play right here? Man, the bottom line is this, that's a whole nother thing. Don't ever be afraid to have, you know, not to be humble, to ask people, to get advice. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can still be confident. You know, man, you don't have to show. Music is not about showing people up. Music is simply about being able to inspire people and touch people with it. It's at the end of the day, this is music, y'all. You know, I know we have sheds, and I love sheds. I love all that. That's a part of growing. But at the end of the day, it's music. It's music. It's not competition. It's music. Because this is the thing. Just because I may not get a particular gig doesn't make me less than a musician. The thing about it is that when I approach gigs, I try to fulfill that situation. So this person may be better suited for that style or that sound. Although I want to learn how to play it all, but at the end of the day, it's music. And so you just have to always have the right attitude and understanding that. That's what it's about.
Well, that's Marcus Baylor, y'all. We in St. Louis.
Yes, yes.
Up at the Faith Miracle Temple, y'all. We chilling.
Yes.
J. Ross 10 million strong. We going to let them bounce, y'all, because we got to roll up out of here. So we going to swoop, y'all. We out. Peace.